I noticed something uncomfortable. When my system worked, I didn't need discipline at all. No forcing myself, no just do it speeches, no guilt. Things just happened. That bothered me because I was taught discipline was the solution. For a long time, I thought discipline was a personal trait. Some people have it, some people don't. Turns out that framing is wrong. What I was calling lack of discipline was actually my brain reacting to bad setups. Once I fixed the setup, discipline quietly disappeared. Here's the reframe that changed everything. Discipline is what you use when the system is hostile. Every action feels risky, slow, or fragile. Your brain resists. That resistance isn't laziness, it's self-protection. So instead of asking, why can't I push myself, I started asking a better question. What makes this task expensive to start? Not emotionally, practically. Ask this, honestly. Imagine this took 5 minutes. Would I still avoid it? If the answer is no, you don't have a discipline problem. You have friction. This is the framework. You can apply it today. First, identify one task you keep postponing. Not a life goal, a concrete task. Applying for jobs, reading a book, working out, starting a project, just one. Second, look for the hidden costs. Most tasks feel heavy because of this. Fragility. One wrong move ruins everything. Unclear next step. You don't know where to start. Delayed feedback. You can't tell if it's working. You don't need all three. One is enough to cause avoidance. Third, redesign only the first move. Not the outcome, the entry point. Make it smaller, make it safer, make it hard to mess up. Let me make this very concrete. With workouts, people don't avoid exercise because they hate moving. They avoid it because they think it requires a full session, special clothes, a plan, and an hour of time. That's expensive. The cheap version is 5 minutes at home. No equipment. If you stop after 5 minutes, nothing is lost. Failure is cheap, so starting happens. With reading, people don't avoid books because they hate learning. They avoid the pressure of reading a lot and remembering everything. That's expensive. The cheap version is 1 page or 5 minutes. You can stop anytime. Nothing breaks if you forget what you read. Reading starts. Now, apply this to work. I don't need discipline to send 50 job applications. I just need a simple system that adapts as I learn from each one. I don't need discipline for networking either. I just need to send one small message a day without overthinking the outcome. No perfect intro, no pressure, cheap attempts beat perfect plans. Once failure becomes cheap and expected, resistance disappears. Not magically, mechanically. Before I continue, a quick note on where this idea comes from. The language of cheap failure and expensive failure doesn't come from productivity culture. It comes from startups. In The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, the core idea is simple. Companies survive by running small experiments where failure is fast, cheap, and informative. Instead of spending months building the perfect product, they test early. If it fails, nothing collapses. They learn and adjust. That's a good model because the same thing happens in personal systems. When failure is expensive, people freeze. When failure is cheap, learning accelerates. I'm just applying that logic outside of startups to everyday's life. This works everywhere. If you avoid learning, shorten feedback loops. If you avoid admin, standardize the first step. If you avoid creative work, remove judgment from the first draft. Stop asking the discipline, start redesigning the system. Most productivity advice fails because it treats people like the problem. But most people aren't broken, their system are. When effort drops, consistency appears. I didn't become disciplined. I made failure cheap. I made action safe. I made progress visible. Discipline became optional. That's the real goal. Before you go, try one small thing. Pick one task you've been avoiding this week. Change just the first step so it's faster, safer, and harder to mess up. You don't need to fix the whole system, just the entry point. If you notice the difference, write it down or leave it in the comments. I'll be building on this idea in the next videos, looking at work, careers, tools, and systems through this lens. If that's interesting to you, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.